guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Charlotte, if you don't already know me. Today we're going to be doing episode 2 of Spill the Tea with me, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A. So I'm going to go through a lot of questions today that I've been asked through my social media. I had a poll up on my Instagram and on my TikTok so that people could ask me some questions for this video. And these are the ones I've come across. So before I get started and before I get into it, if you don't already subscribe, please can you make sure you subscribe to my channel, because it really does help me and I do really appreciate it. Now we're going to get into the first question. So the first question I had was, what are your goals for 2023? So I usually do a monthly goal setting. I haven't done a proper one this month purely because I had my New Year's resolutions and I feel like a lot of that kind of crossed into it, so I thought there's no point in doing 2 videos on my goal setting. So I haven't done my monthly ones yet, but for 2023, I would absolutely love it if I could start learning to drive again. So back in, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was 2019, something like that. Back then, I had passed my theory first time. My husband was learning at the same time. We passed our theory on exactly the same day. And then he was ready for his test and I wasn't. So we kind of like went on to him having double lessons. I had single lessons till he passed his test. Then things just got in the way, and by the time I got around to doing my test, I had one chance at doing it before my theory ran out, and unfortunately I failed like 5-10 minutes before I got back to the test centre. I was following a car too closely, so I need to get back into it. I've been having lessons since I was like 17-18 years old, and I am nearly 30. I'm 30 this year. I need to get my driving done. So that's one of my major goals. That is going to be part of my 5-year plan, because I'm not going to tie it down to this year, because there are other stuff I want to carry on doing this year, and with everything it's down to whether you can financially afford to do that this year. So that's one of my aims for the year. I would also like to, I'm going to finish my college course next month. If any of you don't know already, I'm currently studying youth work. My course finishes at the end of March, and then I can go on to level 3 then in September. So my plan is to do that this year. So I need to pass level 2 first. And I would also like to get a bit further with my influencing. I would love to work with Shein and Lounge underwear. They are my top 2 brands. They're like the god tier brands that I really just would absolutely die to work for. Honest to God, like they are like my goals. I've already worked with one of my other god tier brands, and that is Hoodie, which I'm currently wearing. Just FYI. By the way, if you want £35 off your hoodie, use the code LottieLove35 and I'll sort you out. But anyway, back to it. I'm trying to think what other goals I can have for this year. So I would like to do more stuff with the kids, go on more ventures. I'd like to try and get our passport sorted so that we can try and book a holiday abroad, because we were supposed to go abroad in 2020 2019 we had booked it for 2020, and by the time it got to the not far off the holiday, the Thomas Cook went bust, so then all our money got refunded, thank God. But then it was a good job that that went bust, because COVID hit then, and we would have been a lot longer waiting to get our money back, or we would have just been not getting our money back. So we haven't actually taken the kids abroad yet. They've been to like Butlins and stuff like that, but they've never been abroad, so I would absolutely love to take them. So yeah, they're my goals this year. So my driving, work with my god tier brands, to finish my college course and start my new one, and to take the kids on holidays and more adventures. So question number 2 was, what is my advice for people wanting to take social media seriously? So this one's a difficult one, because it depends on the person. Some people take things to heart. But I'm going to be brutally honest. I can't mess about with this, because you're not going to learn. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not an expert. But you need to be serious about social media. You need to be consistent, which is something I'm guilty. I'm not always consistent. Being consistent doesn't necessarily mean consistent with posting daily. It means catching up with comments. If people have commented on your stuff, it means liking other people's stuff and commenting on theirs to build some sort of like relationship with them. You need a friendship with them, because otherwise they're not going to feel like they know you, and they're not going to want to come back to your page. You need to stay consistent with engaging with brands if you want to work with brands. You need to make sure your content is good quality. So if there's stuff that you feel like you could invest in to make your quality of your content better, like a ring light, for example, or a microphone, or you can get things to stop. I'm not very good with these type things, but you can get things to stop shadows on your face, and there's all these different things you can get. You don't need to get these things, but if there's something you know that you could do with to make your quality of content better, then do it. If you need a better camera, invest in that. If you want to take it serious, try and invest in that. Or find better editing software. As long as your lighting is good and your photos ain't coming out blurry, editing software can be amazing for you. But just don't make it look like it's not even you, because yeah. But I'd say do not spend all your hours of all your day obsessing over the numbers. Do not obsess over how many followers you got, and how many likes you got, and how many comments you've got. If you're going to focus on something and have something as your goal, focus on learning. My advice is to focus on learning new skills, learning what the new algorithms are, learning what's performing well and what's not performing well, experimenting. Like, if you want to do one sort of content and you wasn't sure how it would work, post it, see what it works like. You can always archive it, but you got it there. You got to try these things. You got to push yourself out there. And I think the best thing you can do is try and learn as much as you can. There's so many YouTubers out there that's got amazing advice for free. There is so many people on Instagram and TikTok that have educational videos that give you all tips and tricks, and lets you know the trending sounds and how you can make your content better. They give you tips on editing. There's so much knowledge out there to be found. So if you're going to obsess over anything, obsess about learning, because that's what's going to make your content go further. Learning new stuff to make your content stand out more, and making sure your content that is amazing actually gets seen by using the correct strategies and hashtags and everything that goes with it. Don't just post a photo and just be like, right, I'll leave it now. There's other stuff behind it. This one could go into a very, very long answer, so I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, my advice would be to focus on learning new things, watching educational videos, watching educational TikToks and Instagram reels, and make sure your quality of content is good. And if you are in the position to do so, invest in yourself and invest in making your content better if you can. Number 3 is, how did I get into social media? So, in all honesty, this one's going to get a bit deep. Sorry. But I started social media back when my oldest 2 kids were really young. I think I started when my little boy was probably about 2 months, and my daughter would have been around 16, 17 months. There was such a close gap between them that I got really depressed. I had postnatal depression, and I was really, really struggling. So at the time, I didn't really have any friends around the area, because all of my friends they didn't have children, they live too far away, I can't drive, I'd moved to a new area, so the place I live now is somewhere that I didn't grow up in. I didn't know the area, I didn't know anybody around other than my husband and his family. So for me, it was a big change, and I really struggled with it. I literally knew no one, and my Instagram originally was a mum blog. I think I had 2 different names. So my first one was, what was it? Mombi Diaries. And now I'm like cringe. But yeah, Mombi Diaries. And then I changed it to the Phillips Family Brew when they got a bit older. So all my things seem to revolve around cups of tea, because tea just makes everything better. But there we go. I haven't got one right now because I've drunk about 5 cups already this morning, and it's just going to make me dehydrated. So I thought I'll have a glass of water, well, bottle of water. But yeah, so I started with a mum blog, and I was actually blogging as well. I had a website, and it's still out there somewhere, where I've got in-depth things about my mental health and my journey with motherhood, because it's not easy being a mother, and it changes you as a person. You start out as a mother and think, oh my god, this is going to be the best thing in the world, and it is the best thing in the world. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love being a mother. It's the thing that I am most proud of in my life. So it is, but you don't realise how things change you, and you kind of lose yourself. You become mum and nothing else, or you feel like you're nothing else, although you really are. And it's okay to be you, and it's okay to take time to do your hair, and it's okay to take time to read a book, or have 5 minutes on your own, to let the dad have a baby, or let your friends look after the baby, or your mum or dad or grandparents or anybody that you know and you trust to look after the baby so you can have a shower, for God's sake, or cup of tea in peace, and a warm cup of tea. So yeah, I kind of like went off track there. I will do a episode on motherhood and go into depth more with that. But yeah, I started it as like an outlet for my anxiety and depression and dealing with being a mother, and I kind of made like a lot of friends through that. And surprisingly, a lot of the people I knew of at the school would message me and would be like, oh, I love your blog and all, because I started taking my daughter to a Mithrin, which is a Welsh preschool, just so she had the thing from me, like, so she wasn't with me all the time, because she literally was with me all the time. And when I started taking her there, I was a lot better than I started, because I felt like I knew people, and I started to go to mother and toddler groups and stuff then, so I actually got somewhere then. But as I said on my last thing about obsessing about numbers, I got to the point where it stopped being about my mental health, it stopped being about spreading awareness, it stopped being about finding friends, it started just being about the numbers and trying to make it. And it actually worked the other way, and it actually made my mental health take a downward spiral, and I was just in a bad place mentally then. So I kind of like left that, I stopped doing it, and then about a year and a half ago, I got into a really good place mentally. I started working out and decided to start uploading my meals, because I was eating healthy, I was working out, I was in a really good mindset, and that's how this page started. So believe it or not, this page was a fitness page. It's a long old story this, but yes, this page was a fitness page. And as soon as I started seeing results from my workouts, that's when it kind of turned into a fashion lifestyle page that it is now, because I was in such a good place mentally that I felt so good about myself. I felt amazing, I felt confident, I felt happy, and I just felt like I took a photo in clothing that made me feel absolutely amazing. And then I started posting more of myself just gradually, so it kind of like just went with the flow a bit. But now I need to get back into the actual exercising part, because my head's gone a bit again. So yeah, that was a long answer, I'm sorry. But yeah, if you need to know or want to know any more on that subject, please let me know, and I'll make a separate video for those of you that don't actually care. Sorry. So I've got, what's your favourite meal to cook? So there's a few different meals that I love to cook. I love to cook a curry. There's a pinch and nom one that I literally used to cook all the time. I used to cook it weekly. I haven't cooked it for a while, but I've currently got a curry in the slow cooker. Nothing fancy, it's literally just a jar and a jar of sauce and chicken because I haven't got time today. But I do enjoy making a homemade curry. And I also enjoy making tipsy barbecue chicken, I think it is, or pork, or it was, I can't remember what meat it was, but it was tipsy barbecue something. I think it was pork. I can't remember, but that is absolutely gorgeous. That's from Pinch and Arm as well, and I absolutely love that. I haven't made that for a while, so I'll have to have a look into making it again. Number 5 is, what's my all-time favourite film? So, Harry Potter is my all-time favourite in general, but my favourite Harry Potter film is Order of the Phoenix. I absolutely love it. I don't know why. What? Who am I? What am I saying? I've just completely said the wrong film. No, it's not Order of the Phoenix. My all-time favourite Harry Potter film is Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, literally say this every single time. I've always said Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite, so I don't know where the hell I just got Order of the Phoenix from. But yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite. I don't know why I like it so much. I don't. I've got no idea what I like about it so much. But I think Goblet of Fire is probably my least favourite Harry Potter film. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that one. I just don't really like it. Very dark and gloomy. It's when this first started to get dark, I think. But it's I just find there's a lot of death, not a lot of action in that film. And yeah, when it comes to the later on films, then I like them. So yeah, Harry Potter is definitely my favourite film. Prisoner of Azkaban. But there's also, like, it depends on what mood you're in, because you got Christmas films. My favourite is probably The Grinch or Elf. And then you've got Halloween films, like, I love Hocus Pocus. There's so many different genres of films. Like, this needs to be a more specific question. It's such a broad thing. So yeah, we'll stick with Harry Potter. But yeah, the last question I got is, how many tattoos do you have? This one's technically 3 questions in one. So, how many tattoos do I have? What are they? And do I want any more? So first I'll go with, how many do I have? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tattoos. I have a little D with a little love heart on my ankle for Dan, but it is absolutely shocking because the person who tried, rather than just doing like a capital D like a normal person would do, the person who done it tried to do like a fancy D, and it was like, do you know when they go like out and then you got a little line there, and yeah, I don't like it. I kind of want to get it covered up and have it somewhere else. But yeah, that's my one tattoo. Then I've got a tattoo on my hip, which was my first ever tattoo, which is a yellow rose, because I can't even remember the reason behind the yellow rose, but I looked at the meanings and I can't remember what the meaning is behind a yellow rose, but it was for my mother, who passed away when I was 12. So I had the date she died on there and the rose for her. I don't know why I had the date she died. I don't know why I didn't just have something else, but that I want covered up because it's stretched from where I've had kids and my stretch marks are going through it. The colour is faded on it, and it's just, I've got a different tattoo for her now. So on my back then, my second tattoo I ever had is a phoenix on my back with the Deathly Hallows sign in his claws, and then it says mischief managed underneath it. Now, I love the idea behind the tattoo, absolutely love it, and if I could make this tattoo better, I would in a heartbeat. But the person who done it was shit, and the colour again have faded like hell, and I don't know what the hell is going on with the phoenix's head. It doesn't look like a phoenix. It's not realistic enough for my liking. I don't like it anymore. So that's another one I want covered up. Moral of the story here is be sure what tattoos you're getting, because you might want them all covered up, because that's 3 I've told you about, and all 3 of them I want covered. Again though, my phoenix has stretched from where I've had kids, so I've got stretch marks going through it, so I would like it covered anyway. Then I had one on my wrist, which is by here, which is it's a mother holding a baby, and then I had my kids' names under it, Aria and Finley. I then went back and had Frankie's name added to it when I had a different tattoo then. Then the one for my mother is the portrait of her, and it's got her handwriting underneath saying love always. And then I had this tattoo, which is just all flowers and a butterfly there. The flowers in there, sunflower and lilies. I just thought they were beautiful, and they tied my arm in nicely. I then got a tattoo on my shoulder. Me and my best friend got matching. So that is, mine says no matter what, hers says no matter where. And it's a sun and a moon together. So it's just matching tattoos, because we're always there for each other. And we could go ages without talking to each other, and we're still there. We've been friends for years now. So yeah, that is all my tattoos. But yes, I do want more. I want a lot more. I want a sleeve. I've got this idea for my next tattoo. So I want, I've always wanted something for my nan and Grange, because they passed away a couple of years back, and they like kind of helped bring me up, and I was very close to them to the point where I'd be down their house like every single weekend. So I really wanted something for them, but there was nothing really that I could think of separately for both of them that I could have that reminded me of them. My nan was really easy, because she's just like an animal lover. She loved all different animals, and yeah. But my gran, she was really, really difficult to actually think of something for him. So instead, I spoke to the tattoo artist, and she was just like, why don't you try and think of a memory you have with them, and think of an idea about it behind that. So my nan was like I said, obsessed with animals. And I can remember the one time we went to Longleat, and I'm pretty sure it's Longleat, because we went to loads of different ones, but they used to film it. I don't know if they still do. They used to record it and put it on the telly, and because they had a programme about it on the telly, she knew the monkeys' names, and she was going around Longleat shouting all the monkeys, calling them by name, and asking the people who worked there, oh, where's Charlie? And asking where this monkey was. So that just stood out to me, because I can remember my Granch, his face constantly like, oh my god, are you for real? Stop asking about the monkeys. And my nan was like, just being my nan. just funny. But yeah, that was just a memory for me that really stood out. And I would love to have like the scenery kind of thing of all animals around, and as if they're like walking, so like a shadow of them walking towards this. My nan was in a wheelchair if we went anywhere because she couldn't walk for long, so I would like the silhouette of her and my granch, for her in a wheelchair and him like pushing her, going towards this place with all the animals. So it's kind of like a bit of both. This is sentimental as in a memory that I remember with them, that I experienced with them, that would always give me joy because it always makes me laugh. But it's also nice to think that that's where they are. Like if you believe in an afterlife, it's nice to think of them, if there was an afterlife, that's where they would be. So it's like a bit of both. So I'd love to have that on the top of my arm because my sleeve is all for my family. So I've got obviously my mum on there, my name and my kids and all that on there, and then that'd be for my nan and granch, and I would like to get something then for my husband. So he's got the my star sign and his star sign back to back. So he's got a lion and I can't remember what his was, ram or something. So he's got them both back to back, and then like a little triangle thing around it, and that is lush. So I wouldn't mind having something like that as like a matching one. But I want so many tattoos. I want one to cover up those two, like a nice pretty one going down my leg. I want a full leg tattoo. Are they called socks? I don't know. I want a full leg tattoo. So yeah, I do. I'd be covered if I had the money. If it weren't so goddamn expensive to pay for tattoos, I would be covered. So yeah. That's all my answers today. So if you've got any other questions, please write down below and I will answer them in a different video at a later date. I won't be doing it for a couple of weeks because obviously I've got to give people a chance to actually ask me questions. I'm not going to do it unless I've got, you know, a couple of questions, because otherwise just no point. And I'm also going to be doing, like I said, another one of these videos with talking about my life as a mum and my experiences and stuff like that. So if there's anything in particular you would like to know about that, please also write that in the comments and I'll make sure that I cover that when I do the video. Thank you. Bye. See you next time.